Go. Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Thursday, August 13th. Welcome into the monthly land use meeting for the Board of County Commissioners. We will begin today's meeting with a call to order. And first on the agenda, let's go ahead and do the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Ms. Day, will you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. If we could please take attendance.
Marcy Day, Assistant County Attorney.
Paula McFeevers.
Miles Lucero.
Robert Choi, CEO.
Carmen Howard, Planning Director.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Next up, can we please, I would ask for a motion to approve the land use minutes from June 11th, 2026. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And that will bring us to the approval of today's agenda. Ms. Day, are there any modifications, or Commissioner, do you have any modifications to today's agenda?
No changes for me.
Okay, none on my end either. With that, I will ask for a motion to approve today's agenda.
So moved.
And I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. That brings us to public comment. I have one person signed up, Ms. Kern. I will just remind anyone else that would like to speak for public comment, and I'm not seeing Ms. Kern. Did she bail on us? Okay. All right. Wendy, if you're out there, give you a second. Is
Okay.
there anybody else in chambers that would like to participate in public comment? Seeing none, we will move right along. That will bring us to our consent agenda. Ms. Day, if you don't mind presenting.
Hey, Commissioners, this morning we have 4 items on the consent agenda. The consent agenda contains items for which staff's recommending approval. As of publication of the agenda, there was no known opposition, and the applicants are in agreement with the conditions of approval. So I'll read the consent agenda in a summary format, and then if any member of the board or the audience would like to have any of those items removed, they'll be placed at the end of the regular agenda. Staff would request that all of the staff reports and case summaries be made part of the record for these items. And the first item on consent is map amendment case number MA 26-U2, Ian Habich. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Habich, thank you. Item number 2 is abandonment of special use permit SUP 25-2, Jason O'Brien. Item number 3 is abandonment of special use permit SUP 25-3, Jason O'Brien. And item number 4 is abandonment of special use permit 25-4, Jason O'Brien. That concludes the consent agenda. If there's no member of the board or member of the audience who would like to have any of those items removed from consent, it's before you for action.
Thank you, ma'am. I will ask, are there any members of the audience that would like any of these agenda items moved to the regular agenda? Going once, going twice, and seeing none. Commissioner, any issues?
None for me.
Okay, none on my end either. And with that, I will ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Consent agenda is approved. Moves us right along to our regular agenda. Ms. Day.
Commissioners, first item on the regular agenda is a request for disbursement of fire protection impact fees by the Pueblo Rural Fire Department. This is a request for fire impact fee disbursement for a fire hydrant to be installed by St. Charles Mesa Water District and Pueblo Rural Fire Station number 2. And we do have Mr. Rod DeSanta in the audience if you have any questions for him on this item.
Thank you, ma'am. I will just say for the record that it looks like this is an ask of a disbursement of $8,628.16, which would leave the remaining balance for the fire protection impact fee fund of $111,770.88. That's a good number. Sir, is there anything that you would like to say further to this agenda item? No pressure at all. I just want to give you the opportunity. Okay, thank you very much. Commissioner?
Nothing for me, but thank you for all the work that you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. If there's no further discussion, I think we can entertain a motion to approve item number 5.
I'll make that motion.
And I will second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much. Item number 6, please.
Okay, Commissioner, this item is House Bill 1041 permit SLI 22-11. This is a request for the second extension brought by Honors Energy LLC. So the applicant's requesting a second extension for a permit by the Pueblo County Board of County Commissioners as the designated permit authority to construct and operate a 198 megawatt photovoltaic solar generation facility with battery storage in Pueblo, Colorado. The projects will be located on approximately 1,390 acres of private land in Pueblo County, approximately 8.3 miles south of Vineland, Colorado. Honors Energy LLC is requesting a second 24-month extension through and including June 14th, 2030. Staff would request the staff report or case summary for this item be made part of the record, and I'll turn it over to our planning director if she has any additional comments on this.
I just wanted to mention that Honors Energy has provided us with information that they are diligently working on getting their power purchase agreement solidified, that they needed a little bit more time to ensure that they're able to get all their documents and agreements and such finalized. And then there's going to be, of course, the time for construction. So in order to make sure that they have sufficient time to get everything in order, they're asking for this extension. I do believe that we have a representative for Honors Energy here if the commissioners have any questions.
Yeah, actually, I do have one on the reason for the delay, which relates to, it says an interconnection where additional study timelines are required. Can you comment on that?
Yes, hi, Chase Marston representing.
Sir, can
if
you please step
come
up to the microphone? Yeah.
Yeah, and if you'll give us your name. Thank you.
Does this work? Is it close enough? Thank you. Yeah, so thank you for having me, Chase Marston, representing the Honors Solar Project. So two things I do want to comment that we have requested for this extension last year for 24 months. This is our second extension. Prior to the extension last year, we were in the process of finalizing a PPA. We have since executed that. And so with the execution of the PPA, we have now much better known milestones for the project and concrete dates to build around for our construction schedule. So we are coming back at a second opportunity where we have much more clarity and certainty on what this timeline for the project will look like. And you asked about the LGIA. We are finalizing that as well. And that process has, we've completed all of our studies with our interconnection partner. There is an affected system study for a third party that we're just waiting to come in before we actually execute the LGIA. But the work that we have done with our counterparty on that with Black Hills Energy is complete. It is just the third party study that we're waiting on to be completed before we execute the final document.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So Commissioner, my belief is that there's a good faith effort made towards progress, and this would be an appropriate extension. Is there any other questions or comments on your behalf?
No for me.
Okay, none from me as either. And so with that, I will ask for a motion to approve item number 6.
So moved.
And I will second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, Commissioners, the next item on the agenda is a resolution for zoning violation case VZ 25-13. This is a resolution directing the county attorney to institute legal action to enforce the Pueblo County Unified Development Code. And we have Mr. Terrence Birch here to present this one.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Terrence Birch, Land Use Inspector, Pueblo County Department of Planning and Development. We did bring up a little PowerPoint for you. So this is, we received a violation of VZ 2513. The complainant stated that they were living in a recreational vehicle. They had unpermitted structures, possibly undisposable of human waste. So that was on February 5th. February 7th, we went down there, did an on-site inspection, did observe the RV being used as a residential purposes, a trailer and all that. We sent out a notice of violation on I think it was February 11th, to the address that was listed on the Pueblo County Assessor's webpage, which was an out-of-state address. So we also thought it would be a good idea to have a sheriff's service. So we sent another notice, another first notice of violation by sheriff's service to the property.
Okay.
And it was posted on the RV door on March 6th. We did a follow-up inspection in April. Looked like there had been no effort to cure the violation. So we sent out a second notice of violation by sheriff's service, which it was served to the property owner, to himself. So within a few days, the gentleman did come down to our office. I had a meeting with him. We covered pretty much everything that needed to be done to come into compliance, went over the UDC. He had some issues with the RV, with, I think it was the airbag system or something. So once he got that repaired, then he would work on getting it removed from the property and come into compliance. He asked for a little bit of time, so I gave him 30 days from the day he came in. We did a follow-up in May. RV was gone, the vehicle was gone, trailer was gone, all the major items that were discussed in the violation. And then it came back May of this year. We got word that it had returned. So we zipped down there real quick, did an on-site inspection, confirmed it was there, sent a final notice of violation to a new address that he had updated through the assessor, which sorry, I didn't mention that, but when I had a meeting, he was going to get a PO box for down in Colorado City so he could receive mail. So we ended up sending the final notice to that new PO box, and we haven't heard anything. And as of yesterday, I went down there and took a peek, and it is still there.
Wow.
So
So this gentleman has an RV located at that property, and this potentially would have been there through the fire?
yes,
Do you know if he was evacuated?
I have no idea if he was evacuated or not, but yeah, it would have been in the line of the fire if
Okay.
it made it down. He's just to the east of it. Property is a little bit north of Lake Beckwith,
Okay,
Polydot, kind of Crow Cutoff,
okay.
and then to the west.
So does this gentleman own that property
He does,
and no intention of building on it, just putting an RV there?
just putting an RV. He was living in an RV. He wasn't aware of it, but when he came in, we discussed it, that he couldn't live in an RV. It's an SR2 zone district. Primitive camping is not allowed without a principal structure, and living in an RV is not allowed. So, and I
So he's
explained
fully
it.
aware of what the rules are
He
in
is
terms of,
very fully aware. Yeah,
Okay.
we had a good, productive conversation in our office, and we went over everything.
so what is the next step if he doesn't remove this? I mean, from your perspective, you've warned him, we've mailed the notice, what next?
That's why we're bringing it up here for legal action.
Okay. Marcia.
Yeah, Commissioners, so this is the point where we bring it to you all to request that the case be turned over to the county attorney's office. As you know, we've been working diligently to open up some other avenues for enforcement for our land use code and other areas of the Pueblo County Code. Currently, the process would be that we file a case in county court, a civil case, and request a judgment for them to be fined, and then that the violation be corrected. If it's not corrected, we can return and ask for a post-judgment penalty of $100 a day, up to $100 a day for every day that the violation continues. And that's assessed as a lien against the property by the county. So those are next steps.
Well, it appears to me you've made every good faith effort to make him aware of the violation. And this is just a thumb in the eye kind of move after knowing that.
Correct. There's a statutory requirement for notice that we have more than met. I believe we've sent three notices and met with the property owner. So that's well over what's required for notice in the statute. So.
Sir, I'm curious, the staff report details, it appeared that a power pedestal may have been installed on the property without permits. And that was reported to San Isabel Electric, the utility up there. Have we heard anything from them to confirm that that happened? Not that it really affects our case. I'm just kind of out of curiosity.
I checked with our building department and that we didn't have a permit for it, but I heard that it wasn't connected. Okay.
reach out to San Isabel, and they confirmed that there is no electric service to that property.
Okay. And then how about our partners at the Public Health Department?
They were notified back in May of 2025 and again in May of 2026 this year.
Okay. Are you aware of them conducting any kind of inspection up there?
From the note that they put in OpenGov, they said they were going to open up a complaint on their end, but I haven't heard any more since then.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough, but I think it's a pretty cut and dry violation of our UDC, and I think it's time to act. Any more questions?
None for me.
That was brought up with the reissuance of this complaint, was that there were campfires going, and there were concerns from the neighboring properties that this was, going to be potential fire threat, and then here we are.
Right. We can't afford to have those kind of issues, especially now as dry as things are. So I appreciate your follow-up and your ability to advise this board on what has been done with this property. We don't want to see violations like this, and it's something that when you see it repeated over and over, becomes a practice. And so it's very important that this board take it seriously when it's brought to us. And we've done what we can to mitigate it. So I'm ready to move forward on it.
Okay. Any other comments? We're good? Okay. With that, I will ask for a motion to approve item number 7,
So moved.
and I will second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Thank
Number
you.
7 carries. Thank you, sir. All right, that brings us to commissioner comments. Ma'am, I'll let you choose. First or second?
You go ahead.
Okay.
Not thinking well.
I'll go ahead. So I wanted to highlight, there's a lot of stuff going on this time of year in Pueblo, but I wanted to highlight one really cool event going on at the Riverwalk this weekend. They call it Riverfest. It's a build your own boat race. It's a BMX expedition. It's jet ski. I don't even know what to call it. It's just really cool. It's like an extreme sports meets Arkansas, or the historic Arkansas Riverwalk right here in downtown Pueblo. So if you have some time this Saturday, go out this afternoon. It goes all afternoon and all evening. There's food trucks, there's vendors, there's music. Really, really cool, uniquely Pueblo event if you have some time. In regard to the Aspen Acres fire, while we were supposed to have our afternoon briefing yesterday, we were informed that another potential fire, well, not a potential fire, there was a fire that started up on Crow Cutoff in Colorado City. So, of course, all those feelings come rushing back. The EOC was mobilized. Our evacuation center was even mobilized for a couple hours. Thankfully, due to the quick response, due to the resources at Rye Fire specifically, and all of our partners really, the fire was put out before it caused any damage. The need for evacuation ceased and we're all safe. But so thank you for the immediate response to that fire. It doesn't have to become an issue right now. But in regard to the Aspen Acres fire, things are still moving behind the scenes. The biggest kind of infrastructure move that's happening right now is that the USDA, along with county staff, have been boots on the ground this week doing their extensive site assessment of the flooding impacts. We are expecting some rain over the next few days. It's, a little bit nerve wracking, but the USDA along with the county are putting together a really robust report of what they believe to be the recommended infrastructure projects that we can install to protect drinking water infrastructure, to protect properties, all of the big macro level infrastructure improvements that need to be made up there in Beulah, Rye, and even some in Custer County. Those are being explored and detailed right now. We expect, based on the happenings of the last few days, that that full scope of potential work will be submitted to the county around Wednesday of next week. That will be the full menu of options to say these are the 10, 15, 30 projects that the USDA, believes are necessary to do what we can do to protect our infrastructure and our watershed out there. So that is a huge step, because I'll remind folks that is a guaranteed 75% reimbursement grant that the USDA has already approved. Once they give us their full menu of options, the county can then start to pick and choose which of those we want to tackle. And we are guaranteed to get 75% reimbursement for those big infrastructure projects. So it's a huge step forward. I know folks in Beulah they're struggling right now. You know, I've seen a lot of community support show up to fill sandbags and to place sandbags, and all of those things are very important in the immediate term. But as we look towards long-term protection, specifically for the water districts up there, we are making those moves. So I just want to reiterate, things are happening, even if you don't see it. I do hope that Beulah residents have seen folks on the ground and know that the support is there, and those longer term infrastructure improvements will be happening as soon as the county can kind of wrap our head around what they are, and then engage, of course, our, you know, very likely third party engineering firms to get those designed and constructed. So thank you to the USDA. That's been a massive benefit in all of this. They've really helped us out. In regard to the FEMA package, that's kind of what I was hoping to get on yesterday's afternoon briefing. So that is something that we will get today, a little bit more detailed update regarding where we are building that full FEMA package that the governor will then present to FEMA and the Trump administration to make a call on what type of reimbursement packages we could be looking for going forward. So we will get communication out to the community once we have, you know, I'm still getting caught up, so I don't know the full details. Maybe you do. Maybe you can shed some light there, Commissioner. But we are still working also on that FEMA reimbursement package as well. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about marijuana scholarships just for a second. I had a really conductive meeting. Well, back up for 1 second. As background, folks may remember that this board chose to give the marijuana scholarship dollars available for 2026 and 2027 school years. We awarded that to the Pueblo Hispanic Education Foundation as the central fiscal agent for those dollars for this coming school year. As we anticipated, the institutions, CSU Pueblo and PCC, were a little surprised by that decision, I'll just say. And because the institutions for the last few years have been used to getting some of those dollars directly. We had a really good meeting with all three of those organizations. And I think we have a very clear path forward for how PHEF can, I'll say, fill the gap for some of those PCC and CSUP students that are, that those county dollars have typically taken care of. Even though PHEF doesn't have maybe a specific scholarship or program outlined today, I think we have a pretty clear path forward about how some of those scholarship dollars can still go directly to the institutions to fill the gaps the way that they're traditionally used to. And then I just did want to mention that we have been funding PACO, which is the Pueblo African American, goodness, I'm going to forget it.
Concern organization.
Thank you, ma'am. We've been funding scholarships for them and the state the Fiesta Day Committee as well for the last couple of years. So I'm having a conversation with PHEF about can they organize something similar with those those are much smaller dollar amounts that they're used to. So marijuana money, I just want to kind of give you an update, Commissioner, because this is when we can talk. And I know that's something that you were concerned with. I think that's probably it for me. Hope folks enjoy the rain and the cool weather, and we'll continue grinding.
Yes, Commissioner, thank you for the comprehensive analysis that you did, and I hope you enjoyed your time off last week. And just for full disclosure, Commissioner Swearengin is also on vacation this week, so you guys have been exhausted by your vacations and coming back. One comment regarding the marijuana scholarships, I do agree. I do think there is a place for some negotiation with PHEF about how to subcontract or provide dollars to those organizations that are assisting students as well. So I'm glad to hear that you moved in a positive direction that way. I think that as we look at our institutions that students go to, many times they have needs that are not notified through a scholarship request, but mainly their aid package. So that's an important move in the right direction in my estimation. Regarding what's been happening, yesterday I did have the opportunity to attend a county strategic governance committee meeting with our chiefs and our directors, and it's a very positive move in terms of, as we talk about the Aspen Acres fire and everything we've been dealing with, we still have operational changes here at the county. We still have budget concerns here at the county. And the changes that we've made to bring on a team that has the expertise and knowledge to help us move this institution forward is very important. And the time spent with them yesterday was very informational for me. we are creating a new way of doing business here at the county, and no, it's not always accepted well by everyone. But please know, we have not taken our eye off that ball while we've been dealing with everything else. We still have a budget to complete for fiscal year 27. We are moving the ball towards getting that done. And I want to assure our public, everyone that watches these meetings and those that do not, the business of the county continues, and we are continuing to look to operate more efficiently and with you, the taxpayer, in mind. And it's taken us a little bit of time to get some of the right people in place to help us do that. But we really want folks to know that we have not lost sight of that goal. It has been an incredibly challenging year and almost 8 months in this job. And I have learned a lot, and I'm still learning. So I just wanted to throw that out there. In addition, as you mentioned, the Aspen Acres fire yesterday, about the same time when I logged onto that meeting and I got the notice there was another fire, all I could think of was, no, cannot be another fire. Luckily, within the hour, the fire was put out, but it just lends to the extreme dry conditions our community is in, to please be careful about anything you're doing outside. It is very, very much a flammable world we're living in until we get that monsoon rain going for the next few weeks. I am very concerned about always being watchful about fires and what they can do in our community. So please be careful, everybody. And lastly, I had the opportunity, not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday before, I attended the Pine Drive Water meeting where we discussed helping those folks that have been without water for about 7 weeks in their homes, how we can get water to them. And I know Commissioner Lucero, you were instrumental in an IGA between the Beulah Water and Pine Drive to try to facilitate that. When I went to the meeting Tuesday night up in Beulah, we discussed many, many things. And I want to thank our staff that came from planning and development, the building department, Josh from the sheriff's department. We had a good turnout of folks from Beulah in the school, and we just spent some time talking about all of the things and resources available to them. And it was a really interesting time for me to see people who have lost everything looking for what's the next thing I need to do. And others who hadn't lost their homes but were worried about flooding. What is the next thing I need to do? And we as a government showing up saying, we're here to help you as best we can. We don't have every answer, but we're here to help. And I received so many positive comments and thoughts from those that attended, from just our government being available to them at a meeting like that. And I just thought to myself, we've just really, really, really need to take advantage of the fact that we've got information and resources and getting it out to people. And sometimes it means being in the room with them to talk about it. And it was a really important meeting for me to attend. At the end of that meeting, I did find out that sounds like Pine Drive will have water. It sounds like that arrangement is being worked out. And so I'm really grateful to hear that. I think long discussions are going to include the fact that for them, they've lost half of their water district in this fire. A lot of those homes are not there. So we've got a lot of work to do with the infrastructure in Beulah. But I will say this, the resources and help available from volunteers all the way to county government to the federal, state, and local, we are all pulling for you, Beulah. Beulah Strong is a real phrase that I use because I've seen it in that community. They just get down to work and they do the thing, and they're thankful and grateful. And it's a beautiful community to go through, even in the midst of what they've been through. You see new growth, and I mean that in the truest sense of the hope that still remains in Beulah. And this board will be committed for the long haul for many, many years to see Beulah recover, for Rye to recover, and for also even in Colorado City for that recovery. So it is on our hearts and minds many, 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 many months and days ahead of us. The last thing I want to mention too is a one-stop shop for information that I was able to help coordinate. There is a lot of resources available and no one knows where to get it all. And our planning and development building department had a web page put up where they were going through the process of explaining all the resources. It's pueblopermits.com. I want to direct everyone to that website, pueblopermits.com. But on the homepage of Pueblo County Government's homepage, you will see a link in the middle of our website directly to that site, and it's Aspen Acres Fire. Everything you need to know about every resource is being continually updated as we get more information about the FEMA awards, about USDA. We will continue to make that website live for you for the latest of information. So while there's a lot of Facebook pages and a lot of chit chat and different various groups, please do not ignore the Pueblo County webpage or pueblopermits.com for the latest in information about the fire. I can say that a million times. and I still get information from others that is inaccurate because they're not getting it from the correct place. So if anybody's asking questions of you in the community, please redirect them to that website where we will maintain the latest information regarding the fire, the resources available, the help, the volunteers, everything is there. And so it's a work in progress. Communication is the number one biggest challenge of this fire. I think if I could say the fire itself was a challenge, but communicating amongst 3 different communities with various, I know it's been difficult for all of us to get that. So we're going to continue to try to do a better job at that. And people get information a variety of ways. Some of them want a flyer. Some don't watch news. Some get their news from websites. Some get their news from Facebook Lives, and others don't have any connection at all. And so that's the challenge of today's world. We don't have a news media everybody follows. And in times of a disaster, that becomes even more of a challenge for us as a government to get the word out. But I really do think we will continue to work on that. And again, these meetings, as you watch them, we try to give you as much information as we can give you. And I would just say that this board has been learning and growing since we got here, and we will continue to do so. So thank you for your patience and time. And Commissioner, I'm glad you're back. It's nice
Be
to,
home.
it's nice to see you back after a trip to where you were with a little one. It's a challenge. So you're home to rest now, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.
Same to you, ma'am. Thank you for bringing up the point about the gears are still turning behind the scenes in regard to this organization. The budget is always front of mind. Our financial stability for the long term is always front of mind. Mr. Choi has sat here very patiently for the last few weeks, waiting to waiting to show the world what he's been working on, and I'm really excited over the next couple of weeks to see some of that work product that's been produced. Excited for the community and the organization to see some of those things, because I think we are moving in a really good direction. One of those organizational initiatives that the board landed on, as the organization is aware, is that performance management snapshot. So I did just want to make the plug that if supervisors, if you're listening, please make sure you're digging into those materials, getting interviews and the rubric filled out for all your employees, because we are, this is the start of a much bigger plan in regard to data gathering, performance review analysis, quite frankly, leadership development. All of those things will fall into this bucket, and this is kind of the kickoff for that. So just wanted to make the plug for that. And Mr. Choi, I hope you're ready to take over a couple meetings in the next couple of weeks, because I know you've been working a lot. We appreciate you, and just very excited for folks to see it rolled out.
Thank you, Commissioner. Looking forward to it.
All right. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. We'll call it a day. Our next land use meeting will be September 10th, and I will ask for a motion to adjourn this one.
So moved.
And I will second. All in favor?
Hi,
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.
thank you.